Hey BBs, it's Plastic and today I'm back with you guys for another video. How are y'all doing today? Hope we're all doing very, very well. In today's video, I want to talk about mermaids, because it's a line that came out, I think, around a year ago, and we've been hearing a lot of rumors that they're ending. They haven't posted anything on like their Instagram, I think, since, was it November? They've been kind of quiet on social media. They haven't uploaded any new episodes or anything. So there's lots of, and there's no dolls being listed or leaked or anything. So a lot of us are kind of concerned about mermaids dying off. And today I want to talk about mermaids, and why I'm sad, but I also kind of saw it coming that it was gonna die. I don't think mermaids was even really made to stay a long brand. I don't think that, you know, direction of this brand was really meant to be forever and always. I think it was just kind of meant to be like kicking off Mermaid High, which was like a line that came out around 2021, and these dolls came out spring 2022. So it is kind of like, it very well could be that these dolls were only made to remove competition. Don't know if it's true, but doll brands can be catty like that. So honestly, I think it's funny. Like, I think it's fun to have doll competition. Like a little side note from Mermaids, I think it's important to have doll competition because it can make you improve the doll's quality. Because Mermaid High, was really bad in terms of quality for $26. But besides Mermaid High, that's kind of why I think Mermaids was invented and created. But besides that, Mermaids was a really, really, really interesting line, but they were really expensive. So the first launch that we had was the main, was it six? 5 or 6 of the dolls, and here's one right now that I'll be showing you guys, Chanel. I do have more of them behind me, but, sure. And this was like the first one that I bought and opened. I mean, I bought all of them together at the same time, but this was the first one that I opened, and out of the box, this doll is really, really pretty in terms of her face. Like, the face is really, really gorgeous, and she has a nice head of long, nylon hair. It has not been washed yet. It's been months. Hence why I think they're being discontinued. But she has these really gorgeous, like, inset eyes. She's very, like, on par for, like, current MGA quality. Like, she holds up to, like, that collector quality with, like, the nice textiles, like, the fabric bow, this really nice little, like, coat, like, the little, like, glove things. Then you get down to her tail. And the whole thing with these dolls is, like, they're mermaids, you know, they change the fins or whatever, and that's their gimmick. The tail was really boring, at least on this doll specific. It's very hollow. She feels very light in terms of, you know, like, a doll heaviness. When I like my dolls, I love when they feel heavier. I love when they're, like, a little bit more sturdy. This just isn't, it doesn't do much for me. You can't really do much off the tail. So I feel like the dolls' bases were kind of a disappointment. These are also really, really expensive, I think, for the time. They're $32 right off the bat, which was more than a Rainbow High doll and an LOL doll at the time. You know, Rainbow High, during that time, retailed for around $26.99. Same with OMG. So for these dolls to pop up on the market with no legs, the stand was like themselves. All they came with was a purse. It was definitely an interesting experience, and I think a lot of people were definitely confused. When I first saw these dolls, I definitely did not like them at all. I thought the faces were really, really realistic, and they were kind of eerie to me. They weren't very, like, eye-capturing in a good way. I was kind of scared about them, and then I eventually started to like them. But at first, I just did not like these dolls, and I think a lot of people who got them as PR or, you know, or just fans or whatever, they got the dolls and they were like, the hair was falling out, there was chipping tails and everything, and like overall, like, the quality on this doll, besides like the physical quality, was just very, like, lackluster. There wasn't much to be desired almost. Like, it was just kind of like a very, like, hollow tail, and that was it. Not saying the tails were bad, but I just think it was very confusing for a lot of people because there was not a real clear target audience for these dolls. They had collector quality elements, but they were marketed as like a bath toy. Like, they're like, their whole thing was like that you put them in water and like their tail changes. And it was very, very confusing, I think, at first, because like, what, like, I don't know what these were made, who these were made for, to be honest. Were they made for kids? Maybe. I think kids should be in mind, but I don't know if kids even liked these dolls, because every time that I would walk into, like, the Target and stuff before, like, these went on a super, super sale, they would be stacked, ma. Like, it was, like, summertime, like, when these dolls should be selling out, because, like, obviously outdoors, you know, mermaids, they were really, like, in stock. So, I don't know, again, what, like, how these went over with kids, because I know the collectors had mixed feelings. There were people who loved them, who went crazy for them, but there's people who, like, did not want to be touched with, and that was kind of the majority for doll collectors. I don't think a lot of people, like, enjoyed these as much just because they were very, like, hollow, and they were very, very, again, expensive for what they were. I know in specific that Miss Harmonique, I think that's her name, had a really, really, really bad chipping problem on her tail. I don't think it happened to mine because I have very late batches of these dolls. But there are, like, some chipping on the back. So, like, again, out of the box and stuff, these dolls were chipping. They also, oh my god, I forgot, they had the weird boxes. That's another reason why I did not like these dolls, because these dolls were not sealed properly. Like, these dolls, it was like half their body was, I'll put a picture on screen so I don't have to describe it so you can just see it. Half the body was in the package and half the package, like the tail, was out. And when I first saw that, I was super uncomfortable with that because I know it's cute for the kids to play with the tail, but there wasn't much to play with. Like, all that was to play with was, like, the fin, and it wasn't, like, that exciting, to be honest. Like, it wasn't like a My First Barbie, which we have right now, where you can, like, play with the arms and stuff. Like, who was gagging over the fin? And I think a lot of the fins in stores were, you know, damaged and stuff because you have kids, you have collectors, you have everybody in the store playing with these dolls. It was kind of done in poor taste, in my opinion. I know that COVID wasn't as a big thing as it was 2 years ago when these were released, but I think it was, like, kind of a bad design, just in terms of, like, like, I don't think it looked good, and I just don't think it was, like, great with like, again, germs, because, I don't know, like, I don't want, like, random people buying and touching my dolls, especially if I'm buying a doll in store. Would not love that, so that was just kind of a thing, and I know that's obviously everybody touches the doll box, but, like, the physical doll was something that, like, I don't know. It was just like whatever, because like you know the doll box is gonna be touched, but like you don't really want like the doll to be touched, especially when the paint was chipping so badly that it was like breaking inside the store. So, and again with the big price tag, it just didn't really make sense. So the first main 4 or 5 or 6 of these dolls, I think it was 5 actually. While that didn't bear over the best in my opinion, we also had a show. I think the show came out in between the original dolls and the Winter Waves dolls, because we only have 2 lines of these dolls for right now. But I think the show, I don't know when the show came out because the marketing was kind of lackluster. I really did not know the show came out until I started watching it in like November time. So it might have came out like last spring, maybe the summertime, I don't remember. But the show is actually really, really good and definitely underrated in terms of the MGA shows. I think it's a lot better than the LOL and Rainbow High show combined. It had like this really cool plot of like these three, or this friend group trying to like get the color back into the city, and there's like a plot twist like with like a sister. And I honestly I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember it was really good when I did watch it, so that's really bad. I probably should have rewatched the trailer or something, but the animation was good. We had a bunch of really cool, well-developed background characters that we're just never gonna see in doll form ever again. I think during this time, it was like the middle time, we got like the car, which a lot of people were like confused about. I think the car is campy and cute. I would never buy a Mermaze car. I don't like doll cars in general, but you know, like you could put like the Mermaze dolls in the car and they can like, I don't know, swim in the car. It was fine. It's cute. I think this time we also got that hair salon thing, which is like a giant Laguna hydration station in my opinion. It was like a spa. It was $100 as well. Kind of see the theming of these dolls being very, very, very pricey. So again, I don't know how well that done with kids. And I think, and also in like the middle area, we got like the collector doll, who did really poorly in terms of collectors, because it was a $40 doll who had no fabric pieces and hair chalk or hair gimmick, which wasn't a cute gimmick. It was very interesting. From the least, I think that was it. Then I think the latest Mermaids release we have right now is the Mermaids Winter Waves dolls, which I'm going to show off Miss Nira. I think that's her name. Again, I don't remember. But this doll's really, really cool. And I think the Mermaid, like the Winter Waves ones, were such a good step for the Mermaids brand. And I think it's really sad that these dolls were already kind of like hated during this point. Like after like the first wave, a lot of people just kind of wrote them off. I was definitely included, and these ones are kind of getting like overlooked because these had so many great improvements. They had this really cool like snow globe thing. They did cost $40, which is a little bit expensive for these dolls. I don't think I would ever pay $40 for a Mermaid's doll, but like they have like snow globes in like the tail, and they feel a lot heavier. They're very much sturdier in my hand, and I think these are such a better buy compared to the Wave ones. If you guys are gonna shell out money for them, definitely support the Winter Waves dolls because they are so stunning. They have that same really gorgeous like inset eye look in this really long premium nylon hair, which you'd expect from a mermaid. You want mermaids with long, gorgelina, soft hair. And they also had, like, shimmer, I think, on the body. Like, this one has, like, shimmer on her body. She came with, like, a really cool beaded belt and, like, lots of nice textiles. And I feel like this was such an improvement. The boxes were also fully closed, so you can kind of see it on there. The boxes were never really interesting to me. I still kind of don't like them. And I kind of wish these dolls were a little bit smaller. I think if these dolls were, like, brat size, they definitely would have done a lot better, because, like, you wouldn't have to put as much detail into, like, the tails and stuff, and they could definitely be a little bit shorter. And we did see leaks of, like, the Siren dolls, which were supposed to be smaller versions of the Mermaids, that I think got scrapped. Again, I don't really know what's happening with them. But I think if these dolls were smaller, it would definitely be a big improvement to them, like, maybe even, like, Novi Star size. But I think the Winter Waves dolls were a great improvement. They also came with a bunch of accessories and a stand, which was, like, a really, really cool, like, I love this stand for the Mermaids dolls, because it just makes them so much sturdier, and it feels like an actual collector piece. Because, like, the Wave 1 dolls just did not come with stands. And if they're gonna have this, like, collector quality, can we not just get, like, a little stand? I don't know if this costed that much to produce, but I think it would have been a little bit nicer to include that with the dolls, because, again, $31 or $32 for the original dolls. I can't see, like, you can definitely see, like, the improvement in pricing and which one is definitely worth more. Maybe you can't. Maybe I'm just, like, making that up, but I think we have a winner. But I feel like with, like, the Winter Waves line, these dolls are kind of going to go down in, like, history as, like, a Novi Stars, because right now we're, like, in a doll renaissance, and there's lots of Gordelina dolls coming out, and these just kind of got overshadowed by a lot of them. Literally, Shadow High did its thing. So I feel like these are going to definitely have, like, that Novi Stars appeal in the next 10, 15 years, where they're super, like, not commonly collected dolls, because I think, like, Novi Stars was not collected, like, you know, Monster High was, so that's why they're more expensive on eBay. And I'm not saying this to, like, have you guys buy Mermaids dolls, because if they're gone, and you're not going to be able to find them again. But I feel like these dolls are going to be super, really, you know, rare and interesting, and, you know, what are they going to call it? Like, Y2K, I don't know, in the future. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how these dolls age, just in terms of, like, popularity, and if they're going to stay relevant, or if they're going to, again, completely go into the deep end and never be thought of ever again. But personally, I think these are going to be really, really nice, just in the future, because they're so interesting, and I kind of love obscure doll lines. I love having dolls that are just, like, not known about, because these are never going to be, like, Rainbow High OMG status, which is fine. Again, I don't think that's really what they were intended to do, but I don't know, I just think it's cool to have, like, a part of doll history that, like, not a lot of people collect, but they're kind of collected now. They had a bunch of sales during Black Friday sale, like, Black Friday time, even, like, earlier this year, where they went on super discounts. Like, the basic dolls were, like, $10 each. The Winter Waves dolls were around 15 to 20, and I got all my dolls for less than $15. So this one was, like, 12, I think, or 13. This one was, again, like, $9 on Amazon. And I think that's kind of, in my mind, what kind of cemented that these dolls are probably not going to come back for another series or season or anything, because this show has not uploaded since, what, like, again, December. The Instagram has been very quiet, and we have not seen any more leaks about these dolls, which makes me a little bit sad, because these dolls are really, really pretty, but I do understand why they kind of did not do as well as they could have done, because of the prices and, like, the weird tail situation and stuff. But, like, look at how gorgeous Jordy is. Like, this is one of my favorite Mermaids dolls. Her name is Jordy, and her face looks almost like a BJD, like, quality. Like, it looks hand painted almost. It has these gorgeous inside eyes. I just don't think I'll ever get over how gorgeous these faces are. I just wish they were, like, not just mermaid dolls. I wish they had, like, fabric tails, and you could, like, take the legs off, and it was, like, something different. But I don't know, I just think these dolls are super underrated, to be honest. Like, and I was the one who was underrating them. When they first came out, I paid no attention to them. I was honestly anti-Mermaids. But getting to see the light is definitely an exciting experience. And it's always really fun, especially when dolls go on super sales like these ones did. I always like to kind of try to pick one up or whatever and fall in love with them. I think I fell in love with these dolls because of the show, and kind of to peer pressure, to be honest, just because a lot of people on, like, Twitter and Instagram and stuff were buying these dolls because of the sales, and I think I just kind of got roped into that, and I'm actually really happy I did, because these dolls are just, again, really gorgeous, and I'm really sad that they're not gonna, I hope they get made sometime, but I'm sad if they are gone by the Winter Waves ones. But I don't know, I just think they're really, really fun, and they're really, really interesting, and I know not a lot of people like them, but I think they're cool, and they're fun, and they're silly. In the comments below, though, I don't know you guys' opinions on the Mermaids line, because I feel like everyone has a different opinion on them. Obviously, it's a big line. And I just want to know, like, would you guys ever collect these dolls? Do you collect these dolls? And do you guys want to see them come back for maybe another round, maybe a couple of another doll sets? Because we definitely do have more designs, and definitely there are prototypes out there. We've seen them on the box, and just like, where do they go? Like, I just want to know, like, where like the little like dolls that like don't sell go, and why can't they be in my house? So yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys again though, so much for watching today's video. It was so much fun to swim around with you guys in GhoulChat, and I love you all so very much. But please have a fantastic day, and stay fierce, and I love you all so very much, and bye Mermaze doll. I love you guys though, bye. Bye everybody.